Hey everyone, so you've been scrolling through your coin collection, and you come across a 1964 D Lincoln penny. You give it a quick glance, thinking, just another penny. But, wait for it, what if I told you that tiny, seemingly insignificant penny could be worth a staggering $3 million? Yeah, I know, you probably just looked at your change jar to see if you have one. Don't worry, I'll help you figure out how to spot these rare pennies in the wild, or better yet, how to cash in on them if you happen to have one stashed away. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes, and by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to know about the 1964 D Lincoln penny and why it's causing some serious buzz in the numismatic world. So, grab your magnifying glass, because we're about to dive deep. Let's start with the basics. The 1964 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and for most of us, it's nothing more than a common coin you find in your pocket change. The D stands for Denver, and the 1964 year is just right at the tail end of the 1960s penny era. This penny was made in massive quantities, around 2.7 billion of them to be exact, so it's not exactly rare in the traditional sense, but, and here's where it gets juicy, there are some 1964 D pennies out there with a huge error that makes them worth a mind-blowing amount of money. We're talking about a small, subtle mistake made during the minting process, where the die that struck the coin was slightly misaligned. This error created an unusually sharp image on the penny, which is super rare. And when one of these super rare pennies went up for auction, it sold for $3 million. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. $3 million for a penny. I mean, what were we even doing back in 1964? Probably trying to figure out if the Beatles were cooler than Elvis, but that's another story. Now, you might be thinking, I've got 20 pennies from 1964, but none of them are worth anything like that. And you're right. Not every 1964 D penny is going to fetch millions of dollars. But here's the trick, it's all about condition and error variety. These rare pennies have to be in excellent condition, preferably uncirculated, and feature that elusive minting mistake. Here's the thing, when you look at your penny, what you're looking for is a double die obverse error. This means that the lettering and details on the front of the coin, like Liberty or In God We Trust, appear to be doubled or even tripled. The images look like they've been stamped more than once, which creates a blurry or thicker look around the edges of the letters and numbers. That's your red flag that this penny might be worth checking out. Let me tell you a little story here. I once found a coin in my grandmother's coin jar, a 1955 wheat penny that looked, well, kinda worn out. I thought, this is probably worth nothing, but I kept it around for a few years. One day, I took it to a local coin dealer, and turns out, it had the famous double die error. I couldn't believe it. I walked out of that shop with a big grin on my face and a little extra cash in my pocket. So, the lesson here is, don't underestimate the value of your change, but back to our 1964 D penny. The first thing you'll want to do is carefully inspect the details on both sides of the coin. Grab a magnifying glass, or maybe just use your phone's camera, to zoom in on the coin's surface. Look for that double die error, and if you see something fishy, it might be time to get it appraised by a professional. Remember, condition is key. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. A coin that's been sitting in your pocket for years, getting scratched and dirty, is going to lose its value. But one that's kept in pristine condition, maybe in a coin holder or a safe place, could be worth a pretty penny, pun intended. Alright, folks, I know you're probably dying to go check your change jar now, and I don't blame you. But before you go off to hunt down that elusive $3 million penny, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos on rare coins and how to cash in on them. Whether you've got a handful of pennies or a box of old quarters, there's always a chance you've got something worth more than just a few cents. And hey, if you find a 1964 D Lincoln penny with that double die error, don't forget to send me a thank you card, or at least a picture of the coin before you sell it for a small fortune. Alright, coin lovers, gather round because today, we're diving into a penny that's worth way more than just 1 cent, more like $2.8 million. Yep, you heard that right. We're talking about the 1979 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And before you start wondering if your pockets are filled with gold, or in this case, copper and zinc, let's see if you could have one of these rare coins hiding in your piggy bank. Trust me, this isn't your average penny you find under the couch cushions. We're talking a real-life treasure that could make you a very wealthy person. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just want to check your change jar a little more often. And hey, you never know, you could be the next lucky coin collector who stumbles upon a jackpot. Let's get into it. The 1979 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those rarities that make coin collectors go wild. It's not just any 1979 penny with a D Mint mark, though. No, this particular penny is a special edition error coin, and it's got some stories to tell. So here's the deal, the 1979 D penny you're looking for has something, a little extra. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck with two different dies, which created a huge error. This caused the image of Lincoln to appear slightly off-center, making the coin even rarer. The reason it's so valuable today? Well, these misprints are super scarce, and when one of these rare 1979 D pennies hits the market, collectors are willing to pay big bucks to get their hands on it. Now, how big is big bucks? Well, a pristine example of this coin in perfect condition, with its off-center design, has been known to fetch up to $2.80 million at auction. Yes, $2.8 million. That's not just a couple of coffee runs at Starbucks, that's a house. A car. A vacation to somewhere tropical every year for the rest of your life. Imagine you're sitting at home, going through some old coins you've had since childhood, and bam, you find this beauty. You're about to casually toss it into your coin jar, and then you remember, you watched this video, and you know exactly what you have in your hands. Suddenly, you're calling up auction houses and thinking, wow, I might just retire on this tiny little penny. But here's the thing, while the coin might be rare, it's not like every 1979 D penny you find is worth $2.8 million. That's why it's so important to know what to look for. This specific penny needs to be in near-perfect condition, with the error clearly visible. It has to be that sweet spot where scarcity and condition meet. Take a close look at the features. If the image of Lincoln looks a little, well, off, or if you notice the date is misplaced or blurry, you might be looking at a winner. And while not every misprinted penny is going to make you a millionaire, it's definitely worth checking out your 1979 D pennies. So, the next time you see a penny, don't just toss it into the jar or use it as a marker for your Monopoly game. Take a moment, give it a little inspection, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the lucky one who finds a hidden treasure. Okay, so here's the deal, while you probably won't find a $2.8 million penny lying around in your laundry, it's always good to check those pennies you come across. Whether it's a 1979 D or another rare coin, knowing what to look for could make you some serious cash. Plus, there are tons of other rare coins that are worth way more than face value, you just have to know what you're looking for. So, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1979 D penny and want more tips on which coins could be worth a fortune, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. I post new videos all the time, and trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next big coin discovery. Yes, you, put down your coffee, pause the video of that cat trying to fit into a shoebox. You're not going to believe this, but today we're talking about a penny, yes, a penny, that could be worth $2.5 million. And no, it's not a typo. So, grab your magnifying glass, because this is one treasure hunt you don't want to miss. If you're a coin collector, or even if you're just someone who's ever looked at loose change and thought, maybe I'll get lucky, this is the story you need to hear. The 1982 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the most elusive coins out there. And by elusive, I mean, it's so rare, it makes finding a needle in a haystack look like a walk in the park. Now, let me take you back in time. The year is 1982, Ronald Reagan's in office, Thriller is blasting on the radio, and people are still wondering if the new Coke was a good idea. And then, right in the middle of all this, the US Mint makes a little mistake, a big mistake that would change everything for collectors years later. In 1982, the U.S. Mint decided to make some changes to the penny. They were switching from copper to a zinc core, which meant they were producing two different kinds of pennies. Most of the 1982 pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint, and they had a P Mint mark on them. But, drumroll, please, some of them slipped through the cracks without the mint mark. That's right, a no mint mark 1982 Lincoln penny. And trust me, it's a big deal. Now, this little misstep created a rare and valuable coin, and the catch is, these bad boys didn't start popping up in your change jar until years later. That's because people didn't realize the 1982 penny without the mint mark was even a thing. Fast forward to today, and if you've got one of these bad boys, you could be sitting on a potential fortune. Now, just to put it into perspective, this isn't some random penny you find in your couch cushions. No, no. If you have one of these coins in mint condition, we're talking up to $2.5 million. I know, right? You could pay off your house, retire on a beach in the Bahamas, or, if you're like me, finally buy that shiny new grill you've been eyeing for months. But before you get all excited and start searching through every penny you have, hold on. There's more to it than just having a no mint mark coin. First of all, the condition matters. It needs to be in really great shape, like, barely touched condition. We're talking about pennies with little to no wear, no scratches, and definitely no coffee stains. And just because it's a 1982 no mint mark penny doesn't automatically mean you've hit the jackpot. You need to have it authenticated, too. I mean, you can't just throw it on eBay with a note saying, this penny could be worth $1 million, and hope for the best. You've got to do your research, and if you're lucky enough to find one, get it checked out by a professional. There are some real coin experts out there who can tell you exactly what it's worth. Now, I've got to be honest with you, I've been in your shoes before, searching through old coins in my grandpa's collection. He's got all kinds of weird things in there, like coins from countries I've never heard of. So I thought, hey, I'll try to find a gold mine in here. One day, I found what I thought was an ancient-looking dime. I was ready to call up the Smithsonian. Turns out, it was just a super old coin that was worth like 10 cents. But hey, the point is, you've got to be patient and do your homework. But when you find that rare gem, that is when the magic happens. So, if you think you've got a 1982 no mint mark penny lying around in a dusty drawer somewhere, take a second look. It could be your ticket to an early retirement. Just make sure to check the condition, and if you're serious about selling it, get it authenticated. And hey, even if you don't have a rare penny, don't worry. There are tons of other coins out there that are worth money, so stick around, because we've got tons of tips on how to make real money from rare coins, all from the comfort of your own home. What if I told you that a penny, yes, a single penny, could be worth a whopping $2.20 million? No, I'm not talking about a rare gold-plated one or something you found at a wishing well, I'm talking about the 1988 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Crazy, right? Stick around, because this penny could change your life, and I'll tell you why. Before we get into the details, let me share a little story. I remember going through a jar of loose change at my grandma's house when I was younger, and thinking, man, this is all junk. I tossed pennies into the trash like it was no big deal. Fast forward to today, and I've learned that some of those junk pennies could have been worth more than the whole jar of nickels I had my eye on. So, if you're digging through your pockets right now, don't throw away those pennies just yet. Let's talk about this 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, you might be wondering, why is a penny from 1988 worth more than a new car? Good question, my friend. Here's the deal. First off, this penny is special because it has no mint mark, which is really unusual. Normally, U.S. coins come with a mint mark, indicating where they were made, Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. But a penny with no mint mark at all? That's pretty rare, and in the world of coin collectors, rare is where the money is. So how does this little copper circle become a $2.2 million gem? It's all about rarity and the fact that not many of these no mint mark pennies were produced. Now, don't go running to your coin jar just yet. Just because your 1988 penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't mean it's going to be worth millions. These pennies only have the massive value when they're in mint condition, like, shiny and almost untouched by time. We're talking about a penny that looks like it was just minted yesterday. Here's where it gets even crazier. Some believe this particular 1988 penny could have been a mistake. Maybe the minting machine just forgot to add that mint mark. A mistake like that? Well, that's what makes it so desirable to collectors. Mistakes are often worth more in the coin world than perfect coins because they're, you guessed it, rare, and this isn't just some collector's dream. There's actual proof out there. If you Google it, you'll find auctions where people have bought similar pennies for millions. So, there's definitely something to this. Now, let's talk about how to check your coins. You're probably sitting there thinking, wait, do I have one of these? First, grab your 1988 pennies and take a good look at them. If there's no mint mark under Abraham Lincoln's portrait, you could be holding something special. But remember, the condition is key. If it looks like it's been through a few too many washes or got caught in your pocket with some loose change, it probably won't fetch you a fortune. And here's a little coin hunting tip for you: don't just focus on the big, shiny coins. Sometimes the real value is hidden in the small ones. I learned that the hard way, trust me. I used to think, it's just a penny, until I stumbled upon a rare one in the back of my drawer. Suddenly, I wasn't just staring at copper, I was staring at potential cash. So, take a closer look at your pennies. You never know what you might find. So, there you have it. The 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth a cool $2.2 million if it's in the right condition. Who knew? If you've got one of these hidden away, it's time to dust it off and see if you've got a fortune on your hands. But remember, just because it's a 1988 penny without a mint mark doesn't mean it's a goldmine. Condition is key. Mint condition is your best bet. So don't go jumping on eBay just yet, but definitely keep your eyes peeled and your change jar close. If you enjoyed this little coin treasure hunt and want more tips on how to turn your spare change into something more, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more hidden coin gems and strategies to make serious money with rare coins. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your coin hunting journey. Catch you in the next video. Have you ever checked your pockets and thought, hey, what if I have a goldmine in here? Well, today we're talking about a penny, yes, a penny, that could be worth up to $2 million. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true, and we're about to dive into the world of the 1992 Abraham Lincoln penny. You might want to take a seat because your pockets might just be a little richer than you thought, so let's get into it. Now, if you're holding a 1992 penny right now, don't get too excited just yet. The one we're talking about is a special 1992 penny with a unique error. This isn't just your average copper disc. Nope, this penny has something different about it that can make it worth, well, a fortune. The secret? The famous close AM variety. First off, what do I mean by close AM? Well, in 1992, the US Mint had a little slip-up during production. The letters A and M in America on the reverse side of the penny were supposed to be spaced a little farther apart, but on this specific error coin, they're closer together than they should be. This mistake only appeared on a few of the 1992 pennies, making it a highly sought-after treasure for collectors. So how do you spot one? Good question. You're gonna want to flip your penny over to the reverse side. Look closely between the A and M in America. If they're really close to each other, like they're having a little chat, you might have the holy grail of pennies on your hands. And trust me, it's not something you're gonna see every day. But before you get too excited, let's talk about how much this thing could actually be worth. At its peak, a 1992 close AM penny has been sold for up to $2 million. Yep, that's right. A penny. Imagine paying for your morning coffee with that bad boy and then realizing, wait, I could have bought a mansion. Now, here's the kicker. Finding one of these pennies in your pocket change isn't exactly common. It's pretty rare, and the value depends a lot on the condition of the coin. We're talking about pristine, high-grade specimens. If it looks like it's been through the laundry a few too many times, well, you're probably not looking at a fortune. But still, you might have some pennies worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Keep an eye out, and if you're wondering how I stumbled upon all this info, let me share a quick story. I was at a local coin shop, chatting with the owner about rare finds. You know, the usual, just two people nerding out about coins when he pulled out a 1992 D-close AM penny. I'll never forget the look on his face when he said, "This could be worth up to $2 million. I thought he was joking, but the more I dug into it, the more I realized he wasn't. So, trust me when I say, this penny could be sitting in your pocket, right now. So, what do you think? Does your pocket change have a hidden treasure? Or are you just a little bit richer in knowledge about rare coins now? Either way, I hope this video helped you take a closer look at your coins, because you never know what you might find in your spare change. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got more coin tips, tricks, and rare finds coming your way, and you won't want to miss out on your chance to discover a hidden fortune. And who knows? Maybe the next time you check your wallet, you'll have the next $2 million penny. So, I've got a question for you. How much do you think a penny's worth? 5 cents? A dime? Maybe a few bucks if you're lucky. Well, what if I told you that one single penny could be worth, wait for it, $1 million? Yep, you heard that right. A 2015 Abraham Lincoln penny, without a mint mark, could potentially be worth 7 figures. Sounds insane, right? But it's true. Stick around as we dive into how this happened and how you could possibly have one of these hidden gems sitting around in your change jar. It's 2015, and the US Mint is doing its usual thing, cranking out millions of pennies. But, in one particular batch of these 2015 Lincoln pennies, something went a little off track. You see, normally, each penny has a mint mark that indicates where it was made, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But for some reason, a handful of these pennies didn't get a mint mark at all. Just one tiny, little detail missing. And let me tell you, that tiny mistake is what could turn your penny into a fortune. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. So, how much is this penny worth? If you were to walk into your local coin shop with one of these no mint mark 2015 pennies, you might get an eyebrow raise from the dealer. And if you've got the right conditions, like a pristine penny with no signs of wear, then we're talking about a value that could reach up to $1 million. I mean, that's some serious pocket change, if you find the right penny. But why is this penny so valuable? Well, it's all about rarity. This is not something you're going to find just anywhere, and there's only a small number of these mint-era coins out there. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for these unique finds, and the lack of a mint mark makes it extra special. Let me share a personal story with you to make this more relatable. A couple of years ago, I was going through a box of old coins I'd inherited from my grandfather. Mostly stuff like nickels, dimes, and a few old pennies that didn't seem like anything special. I mean, they were cool to look at, but nothing that would make me rich, right? Well, guess what? I actually found a penny from 1943, which is famous for being made of steel instead of copper. It wasn't worth $1 million, but it was still pretty cool. So I get it, there's something magical about finding a rare coin that could change your life. Alright, now I know what you're thinking. How do I find one of these golden, well, copper, tickets? Well, it's not easy, folks. These 2015 pennies are pretty rare, and they won't be lying around in every pocket or piggy bank. But keep your eyes peeled, check your change, and maybe even scan through old coin rolls at your local bank. You never know when you might stumble upon a little piece of history that's worth a whole lot of money. So, if you want to learn more about rare coins, how to spot valuable ones, and what to do when you find something priceless. Besides freaking out, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on future tips and strategies on how to make some serious cash with your coin collection. Trust me, you'll be kicking yourself if you don't. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting.